times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
Breaking news at this hour as well. President Trump now authorizing ICE to target schools and churches in its deportation raids. He is revoking a directive excluding arrests in so-called sensitive areas. Chicago's immigrant community on edge tonight as Michelle Gallardo reports. Activists and elected officials are canvassing neighborhoods, letting people know their rights should ICE come knocking.
Up and down Cermak Avenue today, business after business prominently displayed the same flyer. Don't open for ICE. Little Village business owners telling us it's the least they can do. People need to stick together, no matter their immigration status, says Jose Luis Vasquez, who's owned this computer and phone repair shop for 9 years now. A few blocks away.
I think that there is some kind of image that people might have, given how much we heard President Trump and you in the months during the campaign and certainly during the transition talking about what's going to happen of people being rounded up, loaded on buses and dropping them off on the border. Is that how you see this happening?
Well, I don't like the analogy of rounding up. Look, again, this is a targeted enforcement operation. The president's been clear on this. We're going to concentrate on public safety threats. But in sanctuary cities, where they don't let us take that public safety threat into custody and the safety and security of a jail, we have to go find him. If he's with others in the country illegally, ICE will not turn the blind eye to that. ICE is going to uphold the oath they took. They're going to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and signed by a president. And they're going to do that without apology. I mean, if any sanctuary cities force us in this position, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Welcome to Truth with JJ. Love me some Tom Homan. That second clip was telling, wasn't it? If you really listen to the person, the business owner, well, Mr. Luis has been there for 9 years and he speaks no English. I wonder why he doesn't want ICE to come in there. Just a simple question. Tom Homan is going to steamroll all of those people. Donald Trump came out today and said anyone that impedes a federal officer from doing their duties is going to be arrested. That is a felony under Title 8 U.S.C. 1324. You cannot aid and abet an illegal alien or hide them. And Trump said that includes politicians. Let's see how the Denver mayor does. That beta male. Wouldn't you love to see him in handcuffs? Know what I really want? Everyone that wants to hide all the rapists, murderers, and child predators, everyone, when we arrest them, we throw them in the same cell as those savages. There's always a general cell before we partition the more savages out of the lesser savages. And we did that to an activist one time. We arrested him and we put him in general population in the cells, and he started crying. And then he went to MCC with all of the savages that he would always say, we have to save them. We have to. The bopper told me all he did was cry all night long. I love it. The hypocrisy, the irony, it's amazing. Donald Trump has also gone in front of his Department of Justice and said, you will begin to prepare yourself to take these cases and prosecute them. All it's going to take is one. Trump knows that. He's going to put one mayor in handcuffs. That mayor or that city councilman or whoever it's going to be is going to go in front of the judge and get convicted for 8 U.S.C. 1324 or plead down to a misdemeanor, and they're going to go to jail. And that's going to be it. And then you're going to see all of the maniacs, all the lunatics in sanctuary cities are going to just go, I'm sorry, I thought I loved you. I don't love you enough to go to jail. We're going to see this in spades. It's happening. Everything is changing right now. I don't know if you just saw today, it was posted, DEI. DEI is gone in our federal government. Little Dick Durbin from Illinois came out and said, well, we should really look at not following those laws. So Donald Trump comes right back out after that today and says, I have to tell you, I'm laughing because Donald Trump is doing exactly what I would do. Donald Trump put out a memo and said, you will follow these laws. You will follow my executive order. There's no more DEI. If you are using improper false language to cover any program that is DEI, you will be fired. If you do not report it and we find out that you knew about it, you will be fired. How many career bureaucrats, people that are dependent on their salary and their pension, when one or two of those morons get fired, everyone will fall in line. Because when you get fired from the federal government, you lose your pension and you lose everything. It's gone. Bye. Never to be hired again. You want to try that? And I really, really do believe that Donald Trump is sitting there with all his lieutenants and everyone's waiting for that first sacrificial lamb. That first stupid lamb that's like, I know the wolves are out there, but I'm still going to go down in that valley. And the sheep get devoured. That's what they're waiting for. You can feel it. You can sense it. But let's look at who they're trying to, well, heck, we showed you. That Haitian gangster. That Haitian gangster, I will give him credit, he speaks English. That Haitian gangster, they're trying to protect him. Are you telling me that the people living next door to that savage does not want him gone? Of course they do. Our own government officials, city and state officials, are protecting criminals at the detriment of American citizens. And they all need to be arrested and go to jail. And I cannot wait for it to happen. I can't wait. I've never asked this on TV or on a show. Tom Homan, I want you to hire me, and I want you to put me just in charge of Chicago so I can walk into Congresswoman Delia Ramirez from Guatemala. She is an illegal alien. And then I'll turn in my gun, the badge. I just need 24 hours. That's all I want to do. You want to make a statement, Tom Homan, Donald Trump? You want to make a statement? Then reinstate me. Give me 24 hours. Hell, I'll even make a documentary out of it. 24 hours with JJ. And we're just going to go and I'm going to arrest her. And I'm going to arrest her uncle. I'm going to arrest her husband. I'm going to arrest every single Ramirez that I can get my hands on in Chicago. And then I'm going to walk her to the ICE plane to make sure she's deported back to Guatemala. That's my ask. I don't think it's a big ask. Who else? Who else are we protecting? Logan, can you please show the child rapist in Alabama? This is who we're protecting. Can we show him, please?
A man
Love
was
this
booked into
big
jail
fat
after
head.
Limestone County deputies say he sexually assaulted a child. They arrested Luis Lopez Martinez on Sunday. Investigators say deputies were called to arrest him after his family allegedly caught him in the act. When questioned, investigators say he confessed and stated, quote, "It is what it is." Immigration and Customs Enforcement has placed an immigration detainer on Lopez Martinez as well.
That is who you're protecting. That is who they are protecting. So that savage could rape your child. He was arrested in Alabama. You think that he went from wherever that cesspool nation he's from and just landed in Alabama? You think this is the first child he has raped since he's been in America? Are you really that naive? This is what's happening to our nation. For the last 4 years, 30 million people, the vast majority, single adult military-age men, meaning 60 to 70% of them. There are millions upon millions upon millions of gangsters, drug dealers, sexual predators, child rapists, pedophiles. Everything you can imagine under the moon and the stars is here in America because Joe Biden allowed them to come in with Alejandro Mayorkas, who is a traitor and should go to jail and be stood up in front of a firing squad, and they would kill that traitor to America if he's found guilty, right? Because we don't want to circumvent the judicial system because the judicial system is so righteous and clean. There's true justice in America. Just because Donald Trump is a president does not mean our government is now good. Our government is still evil. It is still the enemy of the people. Is Donald Trump doing everything he can? Yes, he is. He's doing more than he can. I don't even know if the guy's sleeping. But this is going to be a gigantic undertaking. I'm going to jump right into a topic, but before I do, I need to talk about I have two sponsors I want to talk about. Sat123.com, Sat123.com. Their best product is their Sat phone. You buy the service, you get the phone for free, and then you have a monthly subscription, a monthly payment like you do with Verizon for your service. We are going into very, very strange and unique times in American history. We are going to go into anarchy and chaos. You can feel it. It's coming. It's going to be a wild ride for the next year, 18 months. And then things will settle out. I really believe that. Sat123 also has a backpack that has a ballistic shield built in it. Don't think you're carrying around this heavy thing. My son, who's 13, carries it, and it's like a regular backpack. He tells me, I don't feel any more weight in it, Dad. It's amazing. Sat123.com/JJ. And the other sponsor of our show is Swiss America Precious Metals with Wes Peters. Swiss America Precious Metals. Diversify. You had Donald Trump in Davos. He was not in Davos. He was zoomed in, and I loved it. He sat there big and bold behind the podium with the giant crest of the United States of America, and he basically told Davos, go pound sand. We're not involved with you. We don't care. We're not in the World Economic Forum, the WHO, the UN. We don't need any of you bastards. You need us, and we're not playing ball anymore. The alpha of the world spoke. They didn't have to like it, but they sure in the hell understood who's in charge. So you need to diversify. You need to get precious metals. And I've said this many times before, you're not going to go to Wes Peters and he's not going to jam you up and upsell you and supersize your purchase. It's just going to be a discussion. Or if you don't want to even talk to him, you want to just get information, then text him. Then just text Wes Peters and he sends you the information and you call him when you're ready. If you like worldviewtube.com, then I encourage you, please patronage our sponsors, because that's what keeps the lights on here. Or we can fall back and just watch Fox, MSNBC, CNN. It's really that simple. We are the new media. We are. Podcasting, platforms like this. This is the new medium to get news. Unfiltered, straight from me, and I will promise you nothing is filtered from me. This is just how I see things. And I'm going to go right into this next segment because I want you to see what I saw today and have been seeing. And it's uncomfortable because it's talking about child sex. It's talking about human trafficking. It's talking about the powerful elites indulging in every fantasy, every desire they have at the cost of humanity. And I know, and when I'm going to show you a clip of a gentleman that has a show he puts on X, and it's about 18 to 30 minutes. And I like him. And he's bold. And you're going to watch it. And when I was watching, I thought, this is what I thought my thought process was. Nobody believes this. Everyone thinks it's absolutely insane. And then I thought of Dr. Juliet Engel of MK Ultra, who I have on my vault account at worldviewtube.com/JJ. And in this interview, she speaks for 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, and we walk through her life in MK Ultra and the Sex Magic program. As I'm watching this clip of accusations of elites raping young children, young adults, young kids, not young adults, young kids. And I thought, no one believes this because it's in plain sight. That's why no one believes it. It is so grotesque. It is so evil that when you see it, you think your eyes are playing tricks on you, and then there's a human condition to minimize it and then let it go and let's move on because you do not want to deal with this. I know you don't. I know you don't because I don't want to deal with it. But you have to. You have to look at it. And that's one of the things I talked about with Dr. Engel is, why didn't anybody do anything? They had to know. And she goes, yes, everybody knew. But they couldn't digest it. They could not intellectually allow that into their mind, so they just dismissed it. And you're going to watch this and you're not going to be able to dismiss it. I'm going to tell you that this is right now in America a great awakening. You are about to witness. You're about to witness evidence be presented to you through a multitude of segments of society: entertainment, media, economics, religion, education, healthcare, moon landing, JFK assassination, 9/11, all of it. P. Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein. You're going to see it all, and you are going to be shocked. And I still believe even then you're going to find a way to intellectually click yourself off it. Before we go into the Diddy and the Obamas and the Bidens, I want us to go back and I want you to listen to a clip from my interview with Dr. Engel to get you prepared that this was happening in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And if you think for a second it did not happen, there was a church commission, a congressional hearing on this exact same, and our government said, yes, we did it. I apologize. It will never happen again. And the gutless politicians, the same type that interviewed me in congressional hearings, threw the gavel down and said, okay, I trust you. Goodbye. They never went anywhere. This is still going on. So I'm telling you, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, still going on. MK Ultra, and it is still going on today. Why would this be proven to be correct and that stops? It makes no sense. So when you watch my interview with Dr. Engel and I show you these next clips, don't dismiss it. Don't say that's crazy, because it's not. It's actually one of the most rational things you're going to hear today. Go ahead, Logan. Please play Dr. Juliet Engel, who's a hero of mine.
When they were doing the snuff films, a lot of drugs were always involved. But I remember I was naked all the time. There was a lot of sex. And then they would bring in all the Mexican kids. So these were the white kids, the elite kids. And I never knew, well, maybe I did. I probably did know who some of the other ones were, but...
How many children would be in that area?
Well, they'd have like 10 of us.
10 white children?
10 white children doing tableaus, and they'd have us arranged, and they'd bring in the little Mexican kids and have us kill them. And of course, I wasn't going to do that. And
okay, hold on. When you say kill them, is this the theoretical killing or real killing? Or
I don't know.
Don't know.
I think that there was death, and I realized, and they made me shoot. But of course, I didn't shoot at anything. But then they'd die at the other side, and they'd show us the dead kids. And that was real. And I actually believed that I had somehow managed to kill them, and had horrible guilt about that. Couldn't stand it. But when I grew up and actually held a handgun and shot one, I realized, that was all I had was toys. But that was also part of it, this horrendous guilt. So I wanted to go confess that at St. James.
Right.
I wanted to tell them, that I'd done these awful things. And of course, they didn't believe me.
Right.
For one thing. The other thing is, Pastor Don tried very hard to explain the concept of grace. And it took me 60 more years to understand it. That God gave us grace. And still a hard concept that I wanted to know what I had to do to reverse all these things that I'd done. And that involved, by that time, I'd been through several Saturnalias, and we can talk about that.
Can I ask you, I'd like you to go to that, yes, because it's in your book, and how many times did you go to this house to do these snuff films? Was it at one time?
No, it was 3 or 4 over the years.
Would you see the same kids, the same white children?
None.
No.
Yeah. The only time I had any sense of who these other kids ever were was when we were at Disneyland, because that would involve quite a bit of time in a group together. But like with the snuff films, we'd arrive in different vans, and they very much kept us apart, except at night when we were locked in these metal beds.
When you say metal beds, can you describe that to us?
Like a hospital crib with bars that come up, except that these had bars that went over the top as well. And I was actually relieved when they put me in one, because it meant they were going to leave me alone for a while.
So you would run around with other children naked. Would they rape you during these films?
Yeah. So
with adults or other children?
Oh, no, it was adults. It was adults.
And why was this happening? Why do you think, looking back, why were you being brought there? Were you being trained? Were you being conditioned?
I think it was that, and then why they were killing these Mexican children, I don't know. I mean, it just, I have no explanation for a lot of this, but I think it was conditioning and a means of control. They were sorting out some of the kids that didn't bother, you know. They thought shooting the other kids was great, you know, and they got put into a different group. And I actually threatened to shoot the handlers. And that didn't go well.
With that being said, everything she said is true. Church Commission, she testified in front of Congress. It is all validated. So when you have that in your mind, I want you to listen to this report.
The Diddy scandal set to blow the lid off the whole rotten club. Bieber tried to warn us about the truth in 2017, but the mainstream media were ordered to silence his voice and bury the story. In 2017, Bieber told hundreds of people at a Bible study class in Los Angeles that he had woken up to the evils of the music industry and needed to get out because it's controlled by the absolute worst kind of people, pedophiles. Hollywood parties were attended by VIP elites, including Barack and Michelle Obama, according to one of Diddy's sex slaves, who's blown the whistle on their degrading behavior behind closed doors. Michelle is actually a man, according to the whistleblower, and she raped Justin Bieber and other minors on at least 2 occasions, including once on camera.
I met Justin when he was still a 15-year-old kid, around the time he was hanging out with Diddy and Usher. I think I was drawn to him because of how overwhelmed he seemed, almost more shocked by what was happening around us than I was. He wasn't like the others, he still had this innocence, and I could see he was trying to make sense of it all, just like I was. But I think it was his innocence that attracted the pervs too. He was their favorite. Everybody had to have a piece of Bieber. He used to kind of like just out. My therapist says it's a form of disassociation. Some people do it when they are deeply traumatized. After a party, Justin would claim he couldn't remember anything. Even when there were super famous people at the party like the Obamas, and they had both been intimately involved with him. You've got to understand what these parties were all about. They were sex parties, no holds barred. But it wasn't just consenting adults getting freaky. These were freak-off parties. The more deranged, the better. I'm talking stuff with kids and animals, violence, degradation, even murder. Diddy used to sit in the corner giving himself, pleasure. Or he'd sit in other rooms watching the action on hidden cameras. He loved it when the Obamas were there because he used to say Michelle was his favorite person in the world. She has a larger penis than Barack, and she loves minors. She raped Justin at least twice that I know about. But he used to claim he couldn't remember anything. I saw it happen once in the same room as me, and I have seen another time on tapes that are doing the rounds in the industry. Everything is on tape. I mean, everything. And it's not just the Obamas. I personally know 3 people. 3 people I'm 100% certain who died because Diddy's friends thought they couldn't be trusted with what they knew. This isn't about me. There are networks of abusers all over the country. Everybody knows about Jeffrey Epstein, but he was just one of many. I'm speaking out because of all the young people who are still trapped, who are given no way out. It's about exposing the hypocrisy of these people who hide behind their power, pretending to be role models while they destroy our lives. The world needs to know what really happens behind the scenes.
We couldn't agree more that the whole world needs to wake up to the truth about the global elite. The entertainment elites are in panic mode as their links to the globalist elite and VIP sex parties is blown wide open.
Huh?
Makes sense. Connect the dots. Connect the dots. Let's show you one more video clip from that interview or that segment, please. Logan, you have that next clip from that interview? All right, here we go.
Victim has also blown the whistle on Michelle Obama and testified that she raped her when Michelle was a man.
So the names that you just mentioned, Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama, have you had personal sexual experiences with these people?
Yes.
these people participated in sex abuse firsthand with you.
Yes. Everybody is complicit. Everybody is complicit. It is covered up by your local FBI. It is covered up by your local police department. It is underground tunnels. There's a whole world.
These people were in a room with you and they raped you. I mean, there's no other, I want to be absolutely 100% candid. Barack Obama, yes. Joe Biden, these people raped you.
We have police reports, we have rape kits, we have information, we have videos, we have so much. This is all about power and control. MK Ultra is a mind control programming. It happens to Hollywood elites. It is happening right now to Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, many celebrities just like them. But nobody understands and nobody knows because it's a part of control. It's like someone has the remote to someone's life and no one knows who's pushing the buttons.
Ali Carter is right when she says that everybody in the establishment
I bet there were people in the 60s and 70s and early 80s when Dr. Engel came out and were prior to the 75 Church Commission, and they scoffed and said that woman is crazy. And then MK Ultra scientists, CIA, all openly admitted in Congress to doing that to thousands of children and women and men. Your government, the government of the United States of America. And now you have Ali Carter, who has gone on multiple shows and has said exactly the same thing as Dr. Engel. Are we going to ignore her? Are we going to act as if this is so bizarre it could never happen? Really? Is there anything happening in America today that is normal? I'm 55 years old. I grew up in the 70s and 80s and became a man in the 90s. This is, you couldn't even get this story in the Twilight Zone, the TV show. Any kind of stories like this were like X-rated, insane, you're a weird dude for even reading it. This is every day now in America. There are no conspiracy theories. This is the Great Awakening. And I'm telling you, America, you need to buckle up because what we are all going to discover is going to rock our world. The JFK files are coming out. The RFK files are coming out. They just signed it. Trump just signed it today, declassified and everything. This is the beginning. Wait until you see the people in P. Diddy. Wait till you see the people in Epstein's Island. Wait till you begin to realize that this is, as that gentleman said, and I believe, and I've talked to people that know, that this is one of many in America. Okay. When you hear things like that, I hate to segue, but I have to segue to my sponsors, is mypillow.com. There are times that I am doing show prep the night before or into the next day in the morning. I'm doing it, just seeing what I think is entertaining, intriguing, what my audience will want to know. And I get in these moments, man, and I'm just like, literally, I go, I'm done. I need to go and lay my head down on my pillow, and on my pillow sheets, and I need to zone out. Just 15 minutes. I just need to zone out. I'm not going to my safe place with my little puppy and my Legos. I'm just going to lay down because I have to allow that somehow to course through my body before I go into other things. MyPillow.com, promo code JJ. Or go to petclub247.com, petclub247.com. You have problems with immunity, your system is bad because you had COVID, or you just want something to try to combat all the plastics you're eating and drinking and all the poison that you're eating and drinking because our government is corrupt, then go to petclub247. It's for humans too. Go to truthwithjj247.com. Logan, do we have our next guest ready? Okay, we're going to bring in Gil Maza. He is a retired Border Patrol agent. He was a chaplain in San Diego sector. He runs Old Patrol HQ on Facebook, Instagram, X. He is someone I trust and I respect. He's in my documentary. He's in multitude of Ryan's documentaries as a source. And he has the pulse of the Border Patrol. People call him. People text, call, email him all the time. When I need something like, hey man, what's going on in Texas, specifically in Eagle Pass, or he goes, I already know someone's already called me. This is what's going on. Gil Maza. And we're going to talk about what is going on the border because it has been 72 hours since Trump has taken office and every single thing has changed. Everything has changed. The border has become secure. How secure is it? Well, yesterday, that would be 48 hours since his hand left the Bible, and when he's finished taking his oath of office, 48 hours, we are in pre-Biden levels of arrest. What was that? The level of arrest was 500 a day. I want you to understand that we have 2,000 miles on the southern border, over 5,500 miles of the northern border, and we have our coastal. That is a drip, a faucet drip. That's how slow and methodical it would be. Where did we come from? We came from the heights of over 20,000 known arrests, at another 20,000 getaways, so closer to 40,000 a day. We are now looking at, prior to Donald Trump coming in office, we were looking at average, a conservative bottom of the bell curve average, conservative average. And I feel very confident about this. Minimum 15,000 a day. Minimum on a bad day. All the way up to the Trump's presidency, they were averaging 5,000 known arrests. This is not CBP One app. This is not getaways. This is not anything. This is not flying in illegal aliens. This is just arrests, 5,000 a day. All the way up to President Trump's being elected, 15,000 people a day were entering the United States of America. Try to get your brain wrapped around that. We're gonna have the Super Bowl in the Superdome in New Orleans. It holds about 75. They're probably going to jam 80,000 people in there. So 5 days, 5 days, 5 into 5 there. Yep, about 5 days. 5 days and about 3 hours. Superdome's filled with illegal aliens, and then we release them. Every 5 days and 3 hours for 4 years. That's what we were looking at. That is what was going on. Do we have Gil, or is Gil still trying to? Gil's still working. I want to talk to Gil because he's going to give me a very great insight. He has an idea of what's going on, why it's going on. We had a Border Patrol agent the day President Trump was sworn into office. We had a Border Patrol agent murdered in the line of duty in Vermont. I don't have all the detail, but I heard it was like a narco vehicle stop. And while he was dealing with one suspect, another suspect came up and I think shot him in his neck. I lay that straight right at the feet of Joe Biden and Mayorkas, those scumbags, because they allowed him into our country. Just as those sanctuary city, insufferable, elitist. But we're here to protect them. No. You're here to do what I need as a taxpayer. Fill the potholes, make sure we're safe, and then get out of our way. We did not vote you in, nor did I send you money for you to give it to illegal aliens. That person that killed that Border Patrol agent is indicative of who they're trying to save. Have you ever asked yourself when you're in a small town, big city, and that government is protecting illegal aliens? Could you imagine, just, you're a carpenter or a sheetrocker. That's talent. That's a trade. I can't do sheetrock. I can't even imagine me doing sheetrock. Painting. And you remove all the illegal aliens out of the country. How much does your wage go up? How much does your wage go up? And you're telling me, America, if I go and I get a painter, and a painter says, hey, I'll do your inside your house for with illegal aliens, I'll do it for $2,700. And then you get a U.S. citizen say, well, my crew, I do it for $3,500. I'm doing that for $3,500. I'm going to give my American brothers and sisters a job and pay them the fair wage. It will all equal out in the end because my wage is going to go up. Everything increases in a good way, not in an inflationary, insane way. And let's all be very honest, too. I did my thesis on this when I was getting my master's about how many people were, what's the largest segment of the economy where illegal aliens are, and everybody thought, oh, it's agriculture and it's or the service industry, and it's 70%. Why don't you try 13% on per side? 13%. Maybe it grew. Let's say 15%. So you have 100 employees at your company. Is your company going to go bankrupt and stop functioning when it has 85? Fair question. Is it going to function at 85? Or are you going to bankrupt? Of course you're going to be okay. Of course. The economy will not collapse. The idea that the most powerful nation on planet Earth, the United States of America, needs third world people with no ability to speak our language, no ability to read or write their language. They don't know what their birth date is. Some of them from the Middle East think they're 490 years old because their calendars are so screwed up. That is true. Look it up. That we need those people to run our economy. Do you see how absurd that is? And I always like to do this when I'm talking to insane people, is I say, really? They're that great for the economy? Yes. They're wonderful people. We need them. Really? Well, why don't we bring in more? And they get all giddy. Yeah, that's a great idea. How many more? There's 50 million in America now. And they go, what? Yeah, there's 50 million. Let's double it. And they give me this puzzled look like, oh, gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go at 100 million. Oh, it's 100 million. Because why would 50 million be great and not get more of something to make it more great? That's just common sense. If I got Patrick Henry as running back for the Ravens, and I'm giving him the ball and he gets 2,000 yards in one season, wouldn't it make sense to give him the ball a little bit more so he can get some more yardage and win more games? We have Patrick Mahomes here. So wouldn't it make more sense to let him play all the games all the time to win? Well, yes. You wouldn't take Patrick Mahomes at a 17-game schedule and sit him for 10 of those games, would you? No. So you mental patients, you intellectually midgets. You say 50 million is great and the economy's thriving. Why don't we take more in? 100 million. Let's keep going down this rabbit hole of insanity. And why don't we do 200 million? Hell, why don't we do all 335 million in America? Let's replace them and bring in 335 million illegal aliens. You don't want that, do you? Why? Because you don't want Chile. You don't want Guatemala. You don't want Russia. You don't want Iran. You don't want any of those nations to replace America. So why is it okay to have 50 million? Why can't we have 25? Why can't we have 10? Let's go the other way. The least amount of illegals, the better. That's my theory. You say no. Your theory's already been proven to be a boondoggle. You have rampant crime. You have rapes and murders off the chart, assaults off the chart. You have schools that are collapsing, complete healthcare systems in the inner cities dying. Beautiful Denver, 20,000 illegal alien appointments have destroyed the healthcare system in Denver. So your theory has already been proven to be wrong. Let's try mine. If we think less is more, then why don't we go split that in half to 25 million? Wow, things are improving greatly. Less people are being raped. Less people are being murdered. Well, then if 25 million is good, then why don't we try 10 million? Let's get rid of them. 10 million is great. Holy smokes, the economy's humming, everything's doing great. Then why don't we go to 0? And then we can have a very, very robust discussion on how many legal immigrants do we want? And will those legal immigrants be what we need? Listen to what Donald Trump did today. He's a genius. I don't care what anyone says. When you say close the borders must be closed. That is not just, I'm going to put Border Patrol on the border and bring the military and build a wall. Because Mayorkas has bastardized everything. He created CBP1 app. He is in bed with the refugee resettlement organizations and the UN and the Soros-backed NGOs. You have a plethora of, quote, legal pathways that are grotesquely unconstitutional. So Donald Trump has done something that everything he's doing is like he's on top of, okay? And no criticism from me at all. ICE is sacking up people all day and night. Border Patrol's down there. Border Patrol agents are telling me, JJ, we got the border shut down. I don't know what to tell you. It's just shut down. It's just shut down. Everything's changed, JD. I can't articulate to you except to say it's all changed. There's 1,500 soldiers going down there. There's more. They're expected to have 10,000 soldiers there. They're expected to take those giant, you remember those planes that we flew the Afghanis in? Where we packed them in like sardines? We're about to pack in illegal aliens. We're going to fly them all over the nation. And we're just going to airdrop their sorry asses into their third world cesspool countries and get them out of America. But Trump did something incredible today. He took the refugee resettlement organizations and put them on notice that everything ceases today. Everything is halted. He reached out and told the U.S., United States Refugee Assistance Program called U.S. RAP, R-A-P. And he told them, you're done. You're done. Tell the International Office of Migration, the IOM, which is under the United Nations, and all of the NGOs that we are taking no reservations. Literally, no appointments or reservations. They are done. And they said, well, when will we start those back up? And Trump answered, not until all of the refugees align with what we want. Meaning, if they're not good to go and help America, we don't want them. I got 8 minutes. We had a lot of trouble. I think Gil is in Arizona. Maybe that's the problem, but I'm going to bring him in. We got about 8 minutes. Gil Mazza, welcome to the show.
Hey, JJ, happy belated Inauguration Day.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you jumping on this. We got them. I'm looking. Yep, I think we have them. If anything, we got your voice, and your voice is so soothing and velvety that it's. I'm lying.
Dear God.
Listen,
it's
Gil.
Getting thick.
I know. Gil, are you in Arizona right now?
Yes, I'm over here visiting my mom for the rest of the week.
Okay, tell me what you're hearing from the agents on the front lines about what has transpired since this Monday.
Well, it's been unbelievable, JJ. First of all, what I've been getting from the field is, the numbers have dropped almost to zero in some places. It's been quiet. El Paso sector, I got a message from El Paso sector saying tonight we had nothing come in. And the difference is when we say the numbers are dropping, that's because they're legitimate numbers. When the Biden administration says they're dropping, that just means that the border numbers are down, but they're flying 300,000 of them in through CBP-1 or whatever else that they're doing off to the side. But that's not happening now.
Yes, I'm hearing that we're at pre-Biden levels, 500 across the border. That's northern border as well. We are seeing a complete changeover. What are you hearing from the agents as far as morale? Because morale is a big deal. They have been beaten down to smithereens. Are they back? Is the morale
beating down
back?
is not even. Yeah, well, absolutely, and it's back with a vengeance. Because let me just put it this way: I'm driving down to Arizona on the Arizona highway. I've got my music blasting. I'm just jamming in my my freaking Daytona, and all of a sudden I see a ready-made checkpoint in front of me just past El Centro. And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Is this some kind of, a breathalyzer or, DUI, whatever? No, it was a bunch of Border Patrol agents setting up shop, literally impromptu in the middle of the freeway and stopping vehicles. And I drive up and I go, guys, what's going on here? This looks too much like enforcement. And they're laughing and jaw-jacking and shaking. They recognize me. They're shaking hands with me. And they're like, yeah, Gil, it's a whole different thing. A whole different vibe. It's almost like we're getting back to what the Border Patrol was created to do, JJ, and that's enforce.
I'm getting the same message as you are, where they're saying, JJ, we have been directed that no one is to be released. No one. Women and children.
No releases,
gone.
yes.
None. And I want our audience to understand when Gil and I are not 50 years removed and we're 900 years old. We're removed by 3.5 years max, right? This is the max.
Yes, at best, yes.
So the old days, this is what we did, Gil. This is how the Border Patrol existed. We never did anything that Biden did the whole time that we were in the Border Patrol. This is new. Now, the question I have for you, are you fearful of this incredible intelligence gap, this job knowledge gap that they now have to overcome?
Well, here's the thing, right, JJ? These guys, unfortunately, the Biden administration's Alejandro Mayorkas, and unfortunately, even some brass right now up on the top of the Border Patrol, that even they don't like the changes. There is going to be pushback. There is going to be from some of the brass, but they're either going to have to fall in line or get the hell out of the way, because what's coming now and the way it's been handled and all these kind of things is going to be, different than anything they've ever seen. So, David Milan, the K9 handler from Swan that got killed in the line of duty doing a stop, he got killed by a USC, but it involved illegal aliens. I don't know if our guys right now are prepared for that. Because for 4 years they've been doing nothing but processing, feeding, hospital watch, things like that. Do they know how to handle a belligerent encounter, a violent suspect, a suspect that's being combative? I know we're going to adjust, but in the beginning, we really going to have to go out there and watch what we're doing, because this is going to get worse before it gets better.
I agree with that. I think that we will adjust because the Border Patrol we're amazing at that, as we're resilient.
Yes, we are.
However, when you have been conditioned to do everything that is non-enforcement for 4 years, you pick up incredibly bad habits. I mean, you just do. You don't know how. I mean, they cut out defensive tactics training. They cut out the firearms training to a point. So you have guys that have not had the training. They have not had the encounters. They've been getting guys that give up. They've been feeding them. They've been cutting barbed wire fences for the illegals. We have a not only. That's what I said in this at the beginning of the show, Gil, is you just don't get to click on and off. You get to click on and off when you're in the thick of it for years and years. Like you and I would come off from work, we would click it off. Then we got our uniform on, went to muster, we clicked it back on. It was easy to do that because it was conditioned. Now they're not. They're conditioned to handing out meals and having illegal aliens demand things from them and them answering, yes, sir, how much more can I get you, sir? And that is a total mind shift in order to give directives and tell people what to do. I'm fearful of that.
Yes. Yeah, I am too. And, who knows what we're going to see coming down the pike. But the good thing is that we have enough, of guys in the patrol that have been in there long enough that are going to be able to, condition these guys. I mean, there are people, JJ, that are running the Border Patrol in different sectors that don't even know the landmarks of their own area. Guys that were fast-tracked, that were promoted into top positions, chief positions, headquarters and everything, that never even worked the field. And this is and I believe that's what Biden wanted to do. They wanted to create just an entire agency of asylum officers to just say funnel them in, no questions asked. And now we got to watch out for those people that are in key positions in leadership throughout the sectors and at headquarters that are going to push back, which I'm having a hard time even believing it as I say it, but that's the reality.
Yep, it is. And I believe that Rodney Scott, who is over the Customs and Border Protection now and has to say in the management positions, he needs to come out there with a meat cleaver and start hacking away all of those gutless bastards that followed unconstitutional orders, Gil. What do you say to that?
Well, absolutely, 100%. And that's the thing, right? So people that cut their teeth and got promoted based on how many people they could process and release as quickly as possible in one day, that's no longer going to work as a plank to get promoted. You're going to have to come in, you got guns blazing, ready to go. And I know, we always have had every agency has their slackers. But I know that 90% of the Border Patrol agents out there are ready to really button down and secure this border. And we have yet to see, how the cartels react. They've had 100% control for 4 years. That's why we didn't see attacks, JJ. That's why we didn't see any major thing go on, because nobody wanted to spoil the pot. Traffickers got to send in as much kids as they wanted, funnel in as much kids, fentanyl, women, you name it, no problem, carte blanche. But we're about to shut that down in a way that I'm afraid that we are going to see some major force coming from Mexico to, from the cartels to either keep control or get back control somehow. And I don't think they realize how serious we are about this.
They're about to find out. Gil Maza, thank you so much. We have 10 seconds. Tell me where my audience can find you, because I love your sites.
Thanks, brother. And they can find you there too, right? www.borderwatchdaily.com. I'm an O Patrol HQ on Instagram and Facebook and on X as well. And we're gonna hold this administration's feet to the fire, JJ. Just because Trump got elected doesn't mean the job's over. The job is just getting started.
Absolutely. Thank you. Amen. America's back. Gil Maza. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Take care and be safe.
See you tomorrow.
to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. I am Logan House. We got a good few topics to go over today. Well, we have mainly one topic to go over, and that is going to Mars manifest destiny or technocrat fantasy? And then we'll